The Kryvax didn't trust easily. On their homeworld of Tharknos, trust was earned through blood, battle, and the ancient rites of pack bonding. So when the human named Marcus Webb arrived at their settlement as part of the Galactic Coalition's interspecies exchange program, the warriors watched him with eyes that gleamed like polished obsidian in the dim light. Marcus was a construction engineer, sent to help rebuild the damaged thermal regulators that kept the settlement habitable during Tharknos's brutal winter cycles. He worked methodically, his hands steady as he calibrated the equipment, seemingly oblivious to the predatory gazes fixed upon him. The Kryvax were apex hunters, bipedal, wolf-like beings standing nearly 8 feet tall with silver-gray fur, powerful jaws and claws that could rend steel. Their society was built on hierarchy, strength, and pack loyalty. Humans were small, soft, clawless creatures to them, curious perhaps, but hardly worthy of respect. On the third day, as Marcus knelt beside a malfunctioning conduit, something small and fierce launched itself at his boot. The cub, barely 6 months old, had escaped from the communal den. Its name was Rika, and she was the daughter of Theron, the pack's second alpha. She growled her tiny, squeaking growl and latched her milk teeth onto Marcus's reinforced work boot, shaking her head with all the ferocity her small body could muster. Marcus paused, wrench in hand, and looked down at the ball of silver fluff attacking his footwear. The adult Kryvax nearby tensed. This was a test, though the cub didn't know it. How the human responded would tell them everything they needed to know about his character. Would he kick her away? Hurt her? Show fear? Marcus did none of those things. Instead, he set down his wrench, leaned forward, and gently bit the cub on her scruff. Not hard, just enough pressure to mimic what an adult Kryvax would do. A playful correction. A pack gesture. The settlement went silent. Rika released his boot immediately, her ears flattening in surprise. She stared up at Marcus with wide amber eyes, her tail tucked slightly. Then slowly her tail began to wag. She let out a small, pleased yip and bounded around him in a circle before attempting to bite his boot again, this time with less aggression and more play. Marcus chuckled and returned to his work, occasionally reaching down to ruffle the cub's fur when she got too enthusiastic. He didn't notice that every Kryvax in the vicinity had stopped what they were doing. He didn't see Theron, the massive second alpha, standing at the edge of the work area, his expression unreadable. That evening, Marcus was summoned to the Great Hall, a structure carved from dark stone where the pack gathered for important matters. He arrived still wearing his grease-stained coveralls, uncertain what he'd done wrong. The first alpha, a scarred female named Vora, sat upon the elevated platform, her eyes gleaming in the firelight. Theron stood beside her, and between them sat little Rika, looking quite pleased with herself. "Human Marcus Webb," Vora's voice rumbled through the hall. "You touched the cub Rika today." Marcus swallowed. "Yes, ma'am. She was playing with my boot. I didn't hurt her, I promise. You bit her," Theron interrupted, his voice a low growl. Yes, gently. It seemed like the right thing to do." Marcus straightened his shoulders, meeting their gazes despite his racing heart. "In my research about your people, I read that it's how you correct cubs. Playing too rough. I meant no disrespect." The hall was silent for a long moment. Then Vora did something unexpected. She laughed, a deep rumbling sound that echoed off the stone walls. "You studied our ways," she said, rising from her seat. "You learned our customs not to command or to control, but to interact, to respond appropriately." She descended the platform, her massive form moving with predatory grace. "Do you understand what you did, human?" Marcus shook his head slowly. "Among our people," Theron explained, stepping forward, "only pack may discipline pack. Only family may correct family. An outsider who touched a cub that way would be killed for the presumption." He paused, his expression softening almost imperceptibly. "But you did not act as an outsider. You acted as one of us, instinctively, respectfully." Vora circled Marcus once, appraising him. "The cub has claimed you, and by your response you have accepted her claim. This is not a thing done lightly among our kind." "I don't understand," Marcus admitted. "You are pack now," Vora said simply. "Rika is your responsibility to help raise, to protect, to guide, and we are yours to call upon, as family calls upon family." Marcus looked down at the small cub who had wandered over to sit on his boot again, this time without biting. Her tail wagged lazily. I'm honored," he managed. "I don't know what to say." "Say nothing. Theron rumbled, but there was warmth in his voice now. Simply understand that you are no longer alone on this world. You have Pack. You have Den Right. You have the protection of Tharknos. Over the following months, Marcus learned what it meant to be Pack. He attended the hunts, though his human frame couldn't keep pace with the Kryvax warriors. He sat in the communal dens, listening to the stories of ancient battles and legendary hunts. He watched Rika grow, teaching her human words while she taught him the subtle language of ear positions and tail movements. When the Coalition tried to transfer Marcus to another assignment, Vora herself contacted the bureaucrats. The human stays, she'd growled into the communicator. He is Pack, he is ours. This is not negotiable. Marcus stayed. Years later, when human diplomats came to Tharknos to negotiate trade agreements, they were shocked to find their representative living among the Kryvax, treated as an equal by beings who had never accepted outsiders before. How did you do it? They asked Marcus, who now wore traditional Kryvax ceremonial marks tattooed on his arms. How did you earn their trust? Marcus smiled, watching Rika, now a young adult herself, spar with the other warriors in the training grounds. I didn't do anything special, he said. I just paid attention. I learned. And when a cub bit my boot, he paused, remembering that pivotal moment. I bit back. The diplomats didn't understand. But the Kryvax did. And that was all that mattered.